welcome back to my channel. Today's video we're going to be going through my last batch of items that I sold. Over the last few months I've gone through a bit of a purge just to sort of recoup some money and maybe put that towards some new stuff on my wish list. I did film my wish list video already, so I'll leave that linked up here in the description box if you want to see that. During my whole sell-off recently, there's just a couple of items that I just wasn't really using in my collection. Some of them were pieces that I didn't like anymore. Some just didn't work for me, and others I just wasn't getting the use out of. Anyways, if you are new here, my name is Katherine and my channel is KWSHOPS. I cover the pre-loved luxury industry, and I've worked in the industry for many years now, so I give insights and tips into what holds its value, what is a better buy, what isn't. But today we're going through my own personal collection and things that I've sold that didn't work out for me. So if that interests you, then please hit the subscribe button down below, as well as the bell icon next to it so you can be notified every time that I upload, which is once, and we're hoping for twice a week. We're almost there. Let's cross our fingers. So I have about 10 things. The first one is going to be my Louis Vuitton Damier Ebene medium agenda. I bought this about 2 or 3 years ago, and I used it daily for most of that time. The only reason, eventually though, I did stop using it, and that was when I bought my MacBook. What's really interesting to me is that somehow this thought never occurred to me that for what I spent on the agenda cover, I could have gotten an entire computer, and that is exactly what I did. Okay, so I always used my agenda for obviously note-taking and scheduling and everything like that. And in, I want to say June of last year, I ended up purchasing the MacBook Air in the 13-inch, and I bought it from Groupon. Buying this refurbished from Groupon turned out to be almost exactly the same price as buying a new agenda cover from Louis Vuitton. I'd never thought of it in those kind of like numbers, but it really equaled out to being the same price. Once I did buy this and I was carrying it all the time, it's just so much more useful. The other thing is that I like to have my notes follow me around, so it's really easy for me to have a note on my laptop and then it goes straight to my phone. That's something you obviously cannot do with a pen and paper. So I leveled up in my tech and unfortunately the Louis Vuitton agenda became obsolete for me. Maybe one day in the future I will purchase another one, but this time around it was definitely time for it to go. Next item are 2 pairs of sunglasses. Both of them are from Gucci. There was one pair that were sort of like more of a Wayfarer type of sunglass. I again leave a photo here on the side, but these I bought and they were way too big for my face, unfortunately. When I tried them on initially, I was in a very highly air-conditioned room in the summer, so my face was like very matte. Once I got outside in the heat, in the sun, and started sweating, and you know, maybe my face gets greasy and oily over the course of the day, they were sliding off of my nose non-stop. I could barely keep them on my face, and yeah, they had to go. There could have been a way for me to like tighten them or like move the arms or something, but ultimately they were just too wide for my face and they just really didn't fit. And yeah, I wore them maybe 2 times and it was just so annoying for them to keep sliding down. I really wish that adjustable sunglasses was a thing, perhaps. I don't know. They were super cool and I loved them, but they did not work out for me. The second pair are the Octagon sunglasses that were on my wish list for years and years and years, and I finally bought them because I had convinced myself that I could justify having them because I'd wanted them for so long, and I did. They looked great. I love them, but so these sunglasses are very like loud and statement making, I guess you could say, but they only worked if my hair was perfect. I could not have an okay hair day or a bad hair day or like a bun hair day and get away with wearing them. I felt like I looked foolish and it just did not complement the vibe. So yeah. Living here in Miami, the humidity is a huge factor. You never know what way your hair is gonna go. So unfortunately, those didn't work out because it's just too unpredictable here. And if something's only gonna work for you when you're like completely dressed to the nines and your hair is just like doing the right thing, it's too unpredictable here. Unfortunately, they couldn't stay in my collection. They had to go. Okay, so the next one is a bag that a lot of people have, a lot of people love. very, very hyped, and I also did fall for this hype, and unfortunately it became obsolete in my collection, and that is the Chanel wallet on chain. I had mine in blue perforated lambskin with silver hardware. I loved this bag to death. I bought it about 2 years ago, and so the entire allure of a wallet on chain is that it has card slots, right? So once I bought the jean wallet that comes with this really small card holder, this card case that comes with this wallet, it is so easy and compact and like hassle-free to go from a smaller bag to a larger bag, and vice versa, that the card slots in the Chanel wallet on chain became completely obsolete for me. I'm glad I had it for the time that I did, but the last price increase with Chanel sort of rubbed me the wrong way. I think now this bag retails at like $2,600 or $2,700, and honestly, for me, I think that price is absurd for a wallet on chain. When I first started with luxury, I want to say that this bag was at like $1,900, which is, don't get me wrong, still a lot, but as far as Chanel price points go, it's sort of more justifiable now with, you know, with current prices as of 2019. I think that $2,700 or between $2,500 and $2,700 for that bag. I just think, for me at least, I think that for that price you can get a real bag from, and I hate to call the Chanel the wallet on chain not a real bag, but like an actual bag that, you know, an actual bag that can hold stuff. For that price. I'm glad I sold it. I don't miss it just yet, even though I really did like the color combination that I had. It became obsolete, and I just really thought that it was time to move on from that bag in my life. So next was another bag I don't really think I've shown a lot on this channel, but it was a reversible leather tote bag from Tiffany. This was one of the first bags I received. I did receive it as a gift, but before I got into luxury, I didn't actually, like, I wasn't into handbags at all, honestly, so I didn't know what I liked at the time. What I discovered after really getting into this world and researching handbags and finding out what other people like and what is available, I realized that I love a structured bag. I don't particularly go for leather bags because because canvas to me is a lot more durable, or coated canvas at least is a lot more durable, and I need structure, especially in a tote. That bag was not practical for me at all. It had a closure clasp, like it had a strap that hooked through a little clasp in the front, which meant that I had to undo it in order to get the stuff out, but it didn't actually close the bag, so it was really just like an unnecessary step to get into my things without actually securing anything. The other thing with the leather was beautiful, and I loved the color combination. I also really liked that it was reversible, but the leather was just really too soft and nice, and it was so soft and so beautiful and so luxurious feeling that I just babied it, and I don't want to have things in my wardrobe that I have to baby that I can't use. And it also came with this really beautiful like zip pouch that was gorgeous, and it felt so nice in your hands. But I know that if I would have used that and put it inside of my bags, it would have gotten so dirty and so scuffed and so scratched that I just never touched it. Never touched it once. The bag itself I did carry. I really love the color combination. I thought it was a beautiful bag, but was not practical for me at all, and I just wish I would have known initially what I liked. But there's really only one way to determine what it is that you do like, and that's by trying stuff out, and this one unfortunately was a fail. Okay, so the next bag that I sold was one that was very different for me in my collection. I loved this bag, and it was super different for my collection, my wardrobe. This is the Valentino C Rocky Fringe sort of hobo tote. I'm gonna leave a picture of it. It's really kind of hard to describe, but it had fringe, it had gold hardware medallions, it was crossbody, it was pretty large in size. It was sort of like a crescent shape, and I thought this bag was gorgeous and beautiful. It was very like boho chic, and I was able to, when I was going in sort of a different direction with my wardrobe that day, it was something that I could incorporate to do something different. But ultimately, I realized that I am not a fan of leather. I can't. I've tried to like it and I just can't do it. I can't. I really love durability over everything, and leather just is too delicate for me. And I just really prefer canvas, and I really also prefer structure. Once again, that had more structure than a lot of the other leather bags that I've seen, just because of the shape of it. I think I hadn't picked up that bag in an entire year. When I went to carry it for the very first time, everything that I had to carry was too heavy for the bag, and it ended up snapping one of the studs on the strap, and it basically broke the bag. I mean, it was a pretty simple, easy repair, but it just made me realize immediately that this was no longer the bag for me, that for what I had to carry, it was too much. It was too much for what I had to carry. So that one unfortunately had to go. I really like that it was something different for my wardrobe, but when push came to shove, I just knew that I wasn't using it, and then when I did finally go to use it, it basically broke. So the next bag that I sold was the Gucci Python 1973 crossbody mini evening bag. I loved this bag so much. I really did. I thought it was so beautiful, and I loved the color, but it really got on my nerves that the opening of that bag tapered inward like this. You can see in the photos. It was really hard for me to get my phone once I upgraded it to the iPhone 10. Really hard for me to get my phone inside of the bag because the opening was so narrow. That bag was designed to house perfectly the iPhone 4, which was around in approximately 2013, 2014. And since then, phones have gotten longer and wider. It was just such a hassle. That collection, the 1973 collection, is definitely something that I would revisit. They did make a similar bag to that in that collection, in a clutch style that was longer, as well as one with a strap. So I definitely would consider adding one of the larger styles of that bag. But for now, the mini one, even though it was super cute and so beautiful, and I just loved the contrast of the metallic with the gold, that one had to go as well. And the last one, unfortunately, is one I still have that unfortunately has to go. This is my classic Speedy in the monogram. I loved this bag. This was, I think, the second bag that I ever got. It just is not getting the use that I feel like it deserves. This is the classic in the monogram, and what I need is the bandolier and the damier ben. So the reason I'm selling this bag is just because I feel like it's too casual for me for a top handle to not have a shoulder strap. A lot of people in the Luxe community are classic Speedy fans. They love the Speedy sag. Those are two things that I am unfortunately not a fan of. If I do want to sell this, and if I do ever add another Speedy into my collection, it will be either this size or the 35 in the bandolier style, so that way it is available to carry on your shoulder. I'm a huge fan of this bag. I think the size and capacity is great. I just think that this is a great bag. Unfortunately, you guys know one of my rules is that if I haven't used it in over a year, then I'm not gonna use it. So this needs to go to a loving home and get the use that I think it deserves. So, that is everything that I've sold in this last batch of sales. I will leave link down below in the description box other items that I've sold over the course of the years. I sort of do a purge every couple of years, and this was the one for 2019. For my collection now, for the foreseeable future, I don't see myself selling anything else, but you never know. My lifestyle could change, or I could decide that I want to get something different and may sell something in order to get it. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!